Okay, so I'm going to introduce this week's episode, and I'm going to introduce it really hard.
Whoa.
Welcome to Footballland!
Wow.
Even though you were introducing it, I wasn't prepared for the introduction because you were introducing the introduction.
Yeah. Very interesting. Like when you do a GCSE essay in English literature.
Just to kill some word
Yeah.
count.
Welcome to Footballland. We are building a football-themed theme park in the Qatari desert in time for the 2022 World Cup. We've got loads of time. It's not until November. We haven't started building it yet, but we will be ready.
Really confident actually.
Yeah.
Just started looking at the Google satellite images of the desert and
You've just started looking.
and just looking at the land.
Confident?
Just looking at the land. And do you know what I've been struck by? When you think of desert, you think it's just sand.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of, bits of black stuff on the satellite image. But when I enlarge it, they're pixelated.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Stuff?
No, it's not secret. It's just the resolution's not strong enough because I'm not going to buy the Google Satellite Pro.
Right.
Which would actually give you the resolution we need.
Oh.
What is it we're missing?
I think it's just a bit of rock, so we just got to watch out.
Right.
If there's,
it's not
we don't want to put
doesn't belong to somebody and somebody's got really kind of anti-privacy.
No, it's a rock. It's too small to see by
If you had a rock that had a sort of looked like someone, completely accidentally, would Google have to pixelate that out?
Yeah, if it looked like Joanna Lumley, for example, the facial likeness of Joanna Lumley.
Yeah.
Is Mount Rushmore pixelated?
Oh, very good.
No, because it's in public domain because they're older. They're over 50 years old, those presidents.
You know, I'm on Google Earth as a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was filming something in Deptford wearing I was actually playing the part of a football mascot, so I had a fully, foam...
Ganosaurus or another dinosaur?
It was not Ganosaurus for legal reasons, but for non-legal reasons, it was a version of Ganosaurus. And I had taken the head off because it was hot in there. We were on a break, and the Google car went past.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks later, I look it up, and there I am, a big blue dinosaur standing by the side of the road.
There's worse things you could have been doing.
What are you talking about? Sex? Is that what you're talking about? Urinating?
All sorts.
Do you know how many people do you reckon have caught their partner cheating via Google Street View?
Well, none, because they're all faces are pixelated out.
Yeah,
now.
but you could tell by their t-shirt.
Or their trousers.
Or a mole on their genitals or something.
They pixelate out the face, but not the act of penetrating genitals.
Well, it wouldn't be on the end of it. If it was on the thigh, you're not going to pixelate someone's thigh, are you?
It might pixelate it if you had a collection of moles on it that look like a face.
They look like Joanna Lumley. Right, let's go for a jingle.
Let me tell you about Footballland. Aided by a soundtrack that could be a goals montage sequence. So Footballland is what we're trying to do. Oh no, we're ready to go again. Yep, no, it's fine. I'll just be quiet. You go for it.
So, Mark, you have an idea.
Yes. So my idea is more of a facility. We are going to have a fully international crowd coming to Footballland.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, look at the rides we're putting on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not Premier League centric at all.
No.
As we all know, the language of football is English.
Esperanto. Yeah.
And not all of our guests are going to speak English. So I've thought for a long time we actually need a school of English in the park.
Yeah, we do.
And who is it that speaks the language of football more eloquently than what other people do?
Like with their feet, is this like a metaphor, or actually with their mouth?
It's both, really.
Because Duolingo doesn't have a foot setting, does it? It'd be nice if, you could learn the language of footsie on Duolingo.
Yeah.
What, you mean what's too far?
No, it's Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle is the ultimate person to head up our School of English. Not only, as a manager, he failed because he was such an amazing player. He assumed everyone could do what he could do with the ball, and it's just not true. There are no other people on the planet, really, maybe one or two, that could manipulate a football like he could. So he wasn't as successful as a manager as he probably should have been.
Yeah.
When it comes to commentating or co-commentating, I've taken to collecting how he uses English. He uses English in a way that is unique.
Yeah.
And we don't just want to teach people English. That would be boring. You could do that anywhere. We want to teach people English as Glenn Hoddle uses it.
Would you call it like Hoddlese?
Or Glennglish?
Glennglish.
Glennglish is
Glennglish.
good.
Yeah, that's nice.
Would it be pronounced Glennglish? Spelt Glennglish, but
yeah,
Glennglish.
The Glennglish dictionary.
Can we sell it in the gift shop? Do you reckon you could produce one?
I will type it up, yes, because it's not really, it wouldn't work as a dictionary as such, because it's not like just this word means this. It's how he structures sentences, or some would say,
I mean, you can get like
sentences.
Dictionaries of idioms.
You can, yes.
Would it be like one of those?
Yeah, dictionary quotations.
You can get the Urban Dictionary, where basically teenagers go on the internet and they just write rude things and they get downvoted or upvoted.
Yeah, it's true.
You just like add your own, like toast, and it means something completely different.
Yeah, it's usually something sexy.
Yeah.
So,
pick a hole.
So, pick a hole. Pick a hole and put some toast in.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, pick a word, right? Pick a word.
Toast.
Okay, now pick a hole. Pick an orifice on a human body.
Nostril.
The bum.
The bum, right. Right. Now pick an adverb.
Timidly.
And then now pick another part of the body.
Earlobe.
Okay. Toasting. It is timidly going around the bumhole with an earlobe.
Oh,
and that's basically
nice.
Urban Dictionary.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Well, you've got perfect earlobes.
Some people don't have earlobes. Some people don't have earlobes, do they? And some people's earlobes are so long you couldn't expect them to penetrate.
Throughout your life, they carry on growing.
Your earlobes carry on growing. But what if you don't have any earlobes? They're growing inside you?
The good thing with the earlobes, non-earlobes thing is that essentially it cuts down on the chat.
Yeah.
Like if you have no earlobes, you're a receiver.
Yeah.
And if you have lobes, you're a giver.
Yeah.
And that's how Urban Dictionary works.
That's how toasting works.
Yeah, that's toasting for you.
What kind of examples of Hoddlese / Glennglish?
Yes, I've collected these over some time, and there are some beauties. I won't read them all out, but it started when in the middle of an England v Belgium, in fact, it was England v Belgium, third place playoff from the World Cup. Hoddle said, Harry Kane's movement has not been as usual as it is. That's amazing. What an amazing sentence.
Yeah.
You sort of know what he means.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
But
I hope you got better examples, though.
Oh, you don't like that one?
No, I thought that was pretty average.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
probably shouldn't have put that first on his list.
Yeah.
Third place player.
He gets the word swivel and shrivel confused.
Okay.
So he regularly says he turned and shriveled on it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm
he
happy
regularly
with that.
says that.
Yeah, I like that.
He got confused on the 10th of December 2019.
This is like you're doing a police interview with him.
He got confused between saying Chelsea were taking Lille to the cleaners or they were going for the throat.
Right.
So he said they've taken them to the throat.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
This is Carragher, so it's not all Hoddle. I collect.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So Carragher said, you want to get on that pitch and score a memorable goal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Some of these are not incorrect uses of English. They're just profoundly philosophical conundrums.
Okay, all right.
So
that would be good in a language sentence.
And if these are as good as they sound, we could sell these to kind of various companies to put them on their walls as like, inspirational.
Yeah.
I'll try this one on you. I don't think it's inspirational. I struggle to know what this means. So Jermain Defoe said of a game recently, the next 9 minutes is more important than the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why not just have 9-minute football matches?
Exactly. Does it make so much sense that we don't understand that?
I think it's maybe because we're in the older generation category, or we're certainly definitely getting there, but we're not. Maybe in the world of the instant stuff and social media, that everything is about the now.
Yeah.
That the now is more important than anything that led up to the now. Forgetting that everything that led up to the now allowed the now to happen.
Have you ever watched a basketball game?
I followed that.
Like context. Is what they're missing.
Yeah. So in basketball, there's 4 quarters, but they basically, one team scores, the other team scores, the other team scores. If they just condensed it down to have a T20 cricket version of basketball where it's just the last quarter, then they could save the faff with the other 3 quarters.
There's a lot of faff.
There's so much faff there. It's like, in the third quarter and it's 98 all. It's like, what was the point been of the last?
A lot of American sports are engineered that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the clinch or that period that you head into where it's like make or break. It's like, if they score now, they'll go on to win. And it's like, What? Why are we? What was? Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed the food, but I could have gone for a meal out. You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
like, but yeah.
We've discussed the mixed metaphor in previous episodes. He's got a lot of thinking on his plate.
Yeah,
something Hoddle said.
That'd be nice to eat someone's thinking. A bit like Hannibal eating someone's brain.
A plate of thinking. Yeah.
Do you not fear that the other commentators are going to be a bit annoyed that it's only Glenn Hoddle's name above the door?
Well, they might do, because I was just about to read one by Andy Hinchcliffe, who, for my money, is giving Glenn Hoddle a bit of a run for his money. So on the 18th of October, I put it to you, Andy Hinchcliffe, during Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. He said, "Tomorrow is another day, and this is tomorrow."
Wow. Was it a midnight game that ticked over? Because that'd be great.
It was the early Saturday kickoff.
Yeah. So have you got like Glenn Hoddle teaching as a visiting like emeritus professor?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he's strictly not allowed to play head tennis in any gaps.
Is he going to blame anyone's misfortune on the fact that their ancestors were disabled?
Well,
because we are going to have to watch out there.
I think we strictly limit him to the philosophy of language, because if it becomes a philosophy, then he's going to start getting into reincarnation and dodgy comments.
I just think we might get shut down as a language facility.
We don't want any of that, Glenn.
I think,
Thank you.
I think that's almost... I'm definitely leaning towards this being a print item so that he can't speak, rather than a language school. Because I can see this almost like you go into a foreign country, you don't really know the language, you pick up a guidebook and you learn how to say, "How do I return the toilet?" and stuff, you know what I mean? Like, "My baguettes have got lice," stuff that is of no use to whatsoever, but you learn them, you think it's fun on the plane, it kills some time while you're waiting in passport kind of control. I almost see this like that. It's almost for the non-football. We're so used to it. We speak the language.
Yeah, it's true.
But you might be a non-football fan and go to Footballland and completely lost because
you don't speak football.
He's hit the beans on toast by Paul Merson.
Yeah,
you don't understand what they're getting at. It's a and also a lot of people are at Footballland if you think of how long they'd actually spend in a language school run by Glenn Hoddle compared to the rest of their day out at the park, it's only going to be in there for 5-10 minutes. So what you could do is you could subjugate them to sort of electroshock therapy, or like in Clockwork Orange, you could open their eyes up or maybe their earlobes
open their eyes and just get Glenn Hoddle to breathe on you. Breathe on your forcibly opened eyes.
Or just shout into their ears for 10 minutes as many phrases as possible.
He's not been as usual as he is.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favour of Glennglish. What?
Well, I lifted a finger just to say, if you want my vote, not that you need my vote, because the way we engineered this vote system,
Glenn Hoddle is not coming in the bar. He's not.
Right, well, then you got my vote. Yeah, aye.
Yeah. You didn't even get to say that.
That's perfect for Glennglish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before 3, say aye.
What is a beautiful thing that we're building here? It's Footballland.
I think we've overlooked one aspect, and that is how people draw money out at Footballland. We're going to try and go cashless, but we do want one cash point, and that is the Matty Cash Point.
Yes.
So
we have got a coin in circulation.
We have got Footballland coins.
Gary Labbott coin.
Yeah, that's true. But if people want to take out cold hard cash,
you can rub the Queen's nose.
Yeah. If you just want some money out to buy a coffee,
you can't.
At the moment, you can pay by card.
We don't receive cash is the only problem. So it's more if you you want to take it out for a symbolic
or
nature.
If like for example, there might be a newsagent's just outside Footballland that you might need to go and buy a bottle of Pepsi because it's cheaper than in the park.
Yeah.
So the Matty Cash Point,
that's tight. You've got to walk however many miles through the desert to get off Footballland property. To buy a cheaper. And to be fair, there are a lot of dads that would do that. My dad would probably do that.
And you need to get the money off Matty Cash.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So back to your ride.
Yeah. So it's not a ride. It's just a facility. It's very simple.
Yeah.
We give Matty Cash we give him a briefcase of £10,000.
Yeah.
and he is the cash point. So he'll just be walking around. He'll just be walking around, and he is as good at handling money as I imagine he is right now. So he worked in a department store, I read on Wikipedia.
Oh, which one?
He has got retail experience. One in Windsor called like Glenn's or like John's or Barry's. It is in Windsor, I think.
John's.
A department store. So anyway, he's got retail experience, so he's used to handling money. So, and he's called Matty Cash.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
He probably gets a lot of that shit. So he's, so we're going to give him £10,000 in a briefcase / suitcase / holdall. And if you need money out, you give him your card. He takes down your details. He's got to do it legit so that your bank gets charged and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he gives you your money.
Is he carrying a giant ledger as well as?
Yeah, he's carrying a giant ledger.
Proper,
but the slight risk in it is that the way we pay him is because we don't really want to be spending more money than we've got. So we need to furnish the cash point every day, fine. But we give him 10 grand in a briefcase and we say to him, what's left over at the end of the day, you get to keep, Matty. That's your pay. Yeah, that's your pay.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't that encourage him just to run away as soon as
so if you need money, you've got to catch him. You've got to catch him. You've got to bundle him to the floor. Yeah. You've got to make sure he takes your card details properly.
Yeah. Could we give him one of those old card machines that kind of you put it on and it went...
The carbon one.
It's like a brass rubbing.
Yeah. And I realised actually that ATM, cash points are what we call it in the UK, but ATM. So we probably need a footballer, Terence McCoist.
Alan San Maximan is halfway there. You've just got to change one letter.
ATM. And we, in hospitals, they've got like a snake around the T. It's like a, so it's,
well, you know
so
how
it looks a bit like a T.
You know how a saint is shortened?
With a T and a tiny S.
You could just have a small S and a big T.
Yeah, so Alan San Maximan.
Small.
Is for
Americans.
If you're American, you've got to.
Can I just rewind?
Yeah.
In hospitals there's a snake around the T. What's that?
It's like a snake.
Yeah.
I think it's like a symbol of.
It's around a cross, I think.
Yeah, it's a symbol of we're going to care for you because we've got
snakes on our tees.
We're snakes. Snakes cared for St. Patrick, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a St. Patrick reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he drove them out, which was a bit sort of ingrateful.
I've got a slight improvement to suggest.
Oh yeah, go on.
A tweak up. West Bromwich Albion, sponsored by a boiler company, and their mascot is a boiler.
Yeah,
that's a big stocky machine that is not unlike a hole in the wall.
I
think Matty Cash should be a mascot that is literally an ATM.
Well, yeah, very true. How about, though, we get Matty Cash normal, in his normal self, but he's followed around by the West Brom boiler, and that's where the money's kept. And it's very hot.
That's true.
It's a fully working boiler.
I had a question.
Your money would be very hot.
Whether Matty had a table. Or it's that thing in old, you'd see in kind of footage of people with briefcases before they'd sort of get it up on their knee and open it up like that. Yeah. And so Matty would have his card machine, he'd have his ledger balanced on it and sort of, he needs something to lean on.
No, he doesn't. It's the skill. Yes, he's trying to juggle everything while getting some money out of a giant boiler.
I think also that because there's no obvious outlet for the money to come out of the boiler. I think when you give Matty Cash your card and say I want £1,000, the only way he can get money out of the poor bloke that's running around with him is just to punch it. He's got to punch it until it leaks money. And it's quite an inexact science, which adds to the drama. You might ask him for £1,000 and he punches it such that you get 900 quid or you get 1,100 quid.
Well, this is the thing. Matty Cash, remember, he keeps all the money at the end of the day that's not given away. So he's going to be he'll have worked out how to punch that boiler so it gives less money.
But if you ask him for money, you are allowed one punch of the boiler.
Okay,
so he's got to gauge it. He doesn't want to give you too much in the first go.
Banking pinata in the shape of it.
And it's really hot money as well. It's a fully working boiler in the Qatari desert.
Yeah, I mean, that won't be a problem. Everything will be hot. A man dressed as a giant boiler with also extra money packed around him for insulation.
That guy's hot even in
You
West
need
Brom.
to get someone now and then to service that boiler by contract every year so you keep the warranty. So we would have someone making sure that boiler was fully functional.
So on that day, when you're running around chasing Matty Cash, who's being chased by a boiler, the boiler will be chased by someone who's trying to service the boiler.
Yeah, because the boiler guy gets 5% of Matty's take home at the end. So it's in his interest as well.
Yeah.
Matty Cash is going to be quite generous with the money at the start of the day because he wants to be seen to be doing his job. But as the day draws on, we're going to find Matty Cash hiding in different parts of Footballland where he thinks nobody can get him.
Yeah.
I've got sort of a nice extra to this maybe, and I remember a time, because I don't really remember using cash now, because sort of I've just been sat in a house for 2 years, and not really, and cash was deemed.
It's very rememberable.
Yeah, cash was sort of deemed a dirty thing, and we weren't allowed to, so it sped up the card thing, and so
yeah.
But there was a time, remember when they introduced cash back and it felt like free money?
Yeah.
At the end of a transaction.
Sainsbury's kiosk.
There were just, the woman would give you money.
Do you want a cash back?
Cash back? Could we tape cash to the back of Matty Cash?
Yes.
So that if you can catch him and just whip a tenner off,
that's
you
free.
Can keep it.
That's free money.
It's the Matty back cash back.
Yeah, the Matty's back cash back.
Matty Cash's cash back.
Yeah. Imagine like feathers of a bird. So he's got £10 notes all the way from his shoulder blades down to the small of his back.
Again, like pinatas. They have that kind of fringing paper all around them.
Yeah, that's right. Or like when you see some service someone's providing on a lamppost and they've got the little thing to tear off with the phone number. Yeah.
So we can make, because this is all feeling quite Central American for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's that kind of winged god that they kind of
there is
there's that kind
god.
of that has they make a costume for that has all the paper frills
in football.
Not in football.
Am
just
I
in
going
Central
mental,
America.
or was there like back in the 90s on Transworld Sport? Sometimes there was a cartoon
Probably,
of a
whatever the
vulture
question is.
in South American football when there was a goal and like there was this weird.
That's ringing bells.
Yeah. So maybe we could make this as a CONMEBOL.
Yeah.
Am I going insane?
I thought I was tripping in the 90s when I saw that, but I'm glad you saw it as well.
Is this the Mandela effect, though?
Ooh.
Are we just having a memory of something that never existed? There was a weird cartoon bird in
Nelson
South American
Mandela
football.
never exist?
Well, the Mandela, do you know the Mandela effect?
Well, no, I'm asking.
A lot of people swear that Mandela died in prison.
Oh.
But it's a false memory. Is it a bit odd having Matty Cash with a giant boiler just in the South American part of the park? Are people going to be asking why that's in CONMEBOL?
No. No, I think most of the stuff you've witnessed from the gates of Footballland, by the time you get to CONMEBOL, all bets are off.
If they get separated and you come across the boiler on its own,
you're going to
what's to stop you punching the shit out of it and emptying it of cash?
That's why Matty Cash and that boiler have got to work together so closely. Yeah. They've got to be like Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton. They've got to be like telepathic.
Who aren't even top 20.
Yeah, Son and Kane.
Yeah,
they've got to be telepathic. They've got to be almost handcuffed together.
Okay.
They probably would try and I think when they turn up to work, if we found that they've attached themselves to each other via handcuffs or a rope, we use a bicycle, wire cutters, and we cut that off.
What were you going to say? A
bicycle chain cut or something.
Okay.
If they turn up for work, linked together, we chuck bicycles at them.
Yeah, no, we need to make sure that as much of that money has gone from Matty Cash's hands by the end of the day.
We're still giving the money away. I mean, I know we're going to get it back as long as we can get the ledger off Matty Cash and its ledger.
Do we have to chase him for that, or does
that's
he
the
hand
thing,
that
isn't it?
over?
Because it's like one is his accountancy is going to have to be spot on, otherwise this is difficult.
Yeah.
And secondly, him balancing a briefcase on his knee and filling in the ledger whilst kind of also trying to get money getting stolen off his back. I don't think it's. What this whole idea is predicated on your desire to get a cut price Pepsi from we're assuming a corner shop close to Footballland. So I'm not super worried that we're going to be losing that much money and that people are going to.
I think we just write it off as 10k, and if we can catch Matty Cash and get his accounts done at the end of every evening and get that boiler and make sure all of the coins, because you know that boiler is going to be hiding stuff down his pants.
It's a lovely.
We've got to strip search that fucker
up his flue.
Yeah.
It's a lovely.
It's so lovely hot in there.
Novelty item for Footballland, but I think the risks are low. We're essentially paying Matty Cash to come and run around in the park.
Yeah,
if his objective is to run around
in South American football,
if he's dressed as Big Bird running around South American Footballland, every time he stops to fill in a ledger, surely he's just going to be mobbed by other people wanting cash. The moment he stops once, his day is screwed.
Yeah, a bit like a shark can never stop swimming. Okay, great. All in favour of the Matty Cash Point? Say aye. 3, 2, 1.
Aye.
So I'm calling this Aah Canada.
Right. Aah Canada.
So obviously this is a ride based on the Canadian national anthem, which I think everybody knows is
Aah Canada. Say Aah Canada.
But I thought that wasn't very. I didn't think that was very.
That would be amazing if that was the anthem.
Yeah.
All these beautiful, stirring kind of people in floods of tears, and then Canadian national. Aah Canada. Said Aah Canada.
Yeah, so Canada's having a bit of a purple patch, a golden moment.
Oh yeah, they're very good.
Kind of golden generation.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you've pointed out, the pronunciation of this ride, as with quite a few of my pitches, is very key. And it's usually to do with some kind of very obscure or accurately placed punctuation. In this case, it's not. It's just rather than O Canada, which is just a single O.
Yeah.
Canada. This is Aah Canada.
I
don't know whether there's double A's in there, or we're hoping that people will realise this is a Canada-based ride in a theme park for football.
It could be. You could have the badge of it. If there's a badge of this ride, it's just Eric Cantona's face on a moose's body.
Yeah,
or his face, but distorted into the shape of a map of Canada.
So I've basically looked at the modern version of the Canadian national anthem, and it translates surprisingly well into footballese, Glennglish. So I'll rapidly whip you through the lyrics. "O Canada, our home and native land."
Yep.
Read playing at home or a stadium.
Yeah.
True patriot love in all of us command.
Right.
That sort of love of a homegrown sort of player or manager.
Yeah.
People, nothing more than sort of a homegrown player or manager. Yeah.
They know the club.
Yeah, exactly. With glowing hearts, we see thee rise. That's sort of like going up the table, or maybe some kind of like weird sort of enlarged heart thing from being overworked.
Yeah, or everyone standing up as a ball goes into the box.
Yeah, the true north, strong and free. Sort of north-south divide.
North-south divide, Newcastle United.
Can he do it on a rainy Thursday?
Yeah, there's a lot of that coming into this. From far and wide, shooting from distance, right? Not
shooting
always...
from distance. Is that in the?
No.
Oh, that's just you saying.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
So like...
Stick it in the mixer. Oh, Canada.
Yeah, that's how well this blends.
Yeah.
It's like what's what. So yeah, from far and wide.
Also, that's like Man United fans when they come from the home counties to go to Old Trafford.
True,
yeah.
See, I mean, it goes on and on. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. That's sort of like making a good wall.
Yeah. Defensive wall.
Who's
and
the draft excluder?
With the draft excluder, exactly. Yeah. God keep our land glorious and free. The groundsman.
Yes, he is very much the god of a team, isn't he?
The
god of a
hero,
club. Yeah,
some fella.
And he's there forever. He's there for 30 years. Yeah.
And they go in there with the forks and they knit it all. They repair the pitch after a player's slid on his knees after a goal, not thinking that a bloke's going to have to come in and get on his hands and knees and knit that turn.
Is that a sign of getting old? I think that as soon as you see someone sliding across and churning up the pitch, my instant reaction is, that's a nightmare for the ground staff.
Yeah. Well, that, and you're almost like you're thinking about the knees of a school child. sort of sliding across the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's what I think sometimes.
Yeah.
I go like,
knees of a child.
is that what you think? I do. I think,
knees of a child
he's
across the
gonna
dance floor.
He's going to have burn marks on his trousers after that. He's ruined his chords. And then basically, then you've got Aah Canada was standing guard for the again. It's back to the wall. So I reckon we could definitely make a ride out of this.
Okay.
And you would basically pick any member of the current kind of Canadian golden generation.
Yeah.
You get, I think, in a foam costume of them.
Right.
And like a bit like those kind of Japanese manga characters.
Yeah,
like that kind
okay.
of, so probably an oversized head of them, not on your regular body. So it makes you a bit like floppy.
Okay.
And then you basically run through this kind of Canadian maze of what we've just described.
Oh, right.
And basically see how far you can get without falling down.
Okay. While Eric Cantona's kind of commentating over you, looking down on you, like from a cloud,
saying kind of very sort of poetic and abstract kind of things about your performance.
Yeah.
He has avoided the maple syrup pool like a stalk in the autumn.
Yeah. I keep thinking about Jermain Defoe because he played for Toronto. So maybe he could be there as well. 100%. Jermain Defoe. And maybe he's like an old wizard, like at the corner of a maze, because he never gets old, even though he's 107. You look at him, and the only thing that's old about him is his eyes. You look into his eyes, and you can see, like, in
cataracts.
reflection, you can see, like, the Vietnam War, or the golden age of cinema, or the first, when
whole
that
Charlie Chaplin movies play out across his pupils.
Like when that when that those people in the cinema ran away from the train, because it was coming towards them.
Was that the Lumiere brothers?
Yeah, apocryphal.
That never happened.
The Lumiere brothers in Jermain Defoe's eyes reflected.
Maybe a train,
like an elephant never forgets.
Train comes from the back of his skull, and people run away from his eyes, thinking a couple of trains are going to, like googly eyes, but trains.
train googly eyes on springs. So he's like, So
it might fool you for a second if you've just run in the Qatar heat through, like, a maze, a maple syrup induced, sort of soaked, foamy obstacle course.
Yeah,
you're going to be near hallucinating at the end, and there's Jermain Defoe in the corner
with his googly eyes,
his googly train eyes. That's terrifying. You whip off your sort of Alphonso Davies head, foam head, and Jermain's like, "Well done," and you're like,
his eyes is like retinas of like detached
googly eyes are coming out.
Terrifying. Yeah, and they're easy to buy. We can just get them from a joke shop. Train googly eyes,
and stick like Corby trains on the front.
Yeah.
Well, that's cheap
or
enough.
You could get like Thomas the Tank Engine, the faces of those trains in the eyeballs, so they're just coming off. So it's just the front of the trains, just Thomas and James or Edward or Percy.
That would be quite a good kind of fractal pattern of if Thomas the Tank Engine turned up, and then out of his eyes, two trains came out, and each of those was from the Thomas the Tank Engine world, and their eyes popped out with more trains.
More trains, and then the last one is Jermain Defoe.
And driving the train is a very confused groundsman.
And I think Josie Altidore played for Toronto as well. Yeah. So we get those two lads.
I mean, we're slightly veering away from
thinking of any actual Canadian players.
I mean, you've got Jonathan David, the man so good they named him twice.
Alphonso.
No, there's Jonathan as well.
Oh, right, okay.
Jonathan David currently playing in the plays for Lille, right?
Okay.
I like the title of the Canadian national anthem. It sort of sounds like a disappointed mother.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada, what have you done now?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because Canada's quite often sold to us Europeans as some kind of utopia, and then when people actually move there, A, you can't get post to them, B, they can't get a doctor's appointment, and C, they've got to drive 4 hours if they've forgotten that there's no milk left.
They do have to drive a lot. In fact, actually, to replicate the huge expanse of Canada, this maze has to be about 12 or 13 miles long, and you've got to do it on foot.
Yeah, and in foam.
In maple syrup.
Yeah, laced with
and let's put some wildlife
I think
in
I'm
there.
right in saying Canada has more miles of coastline than any other.
So a lot of it's got to be near water features.
It's
got
to be very wiggly, like inlets and wiggly woos is the geographical term.
And also something like 90% of the population of Canada live within 2 hours of the American border.
Yeah.
So like it's a very bottom heavy country. So the bottom heaviness of the maize. So it can be very heavy.
What's your suggestion for that?
A heavy maize. It's very heavy. I'm just saying.
Gravity.
You know, in like Peru or Chile, altitude sickness.
Yes.
All right. The reverse.
Oh.
Very, very low, below sea level.
Right.
Let's put this maize a mile below sea level. So it's so heavy, the pressure's on you. So you feel like you're being weighed down.
Right.
Weighed down.
Does that happen if you go into a cave?
Well, it must do because the altitude.
It must do.
It must do. The gravity.
I think
the gravity.
The more
you're
gravity
getting
altitude sickness confused with gravity. Altitude sickness is from the thinness of oxygen.
Yeah.
It's not that there's more oxygen.
Yeah, it doesn't get
in a
thicker
mine.
as you go into a
That
mine.
doesn't work. If anything,
Well,
there's
that's
less
only because
oxygen.
they haven't opened the mine up properly. There's not enough
I think
ventilation.
if you go into a ravine, you're not, because otherwise, instead of putting like when there was an oxygen shortage during the coronavirus pandemic, there would have been like whacking people into ravines.
Get
like
them in the
right
Grand
centre.
Canyon.
Yeah. Well, exactly, but they didn't, did they?
No, because they didn't think. And it's because the
Right.
pandemic happened so quickly and everyone had to stay
I
indoors.
know what you're
People
saying
panicked,
is nonsense because in Journey to the Centre of the World, they don't implode.
Feel heavy. They don't feel heavy?
No, they're moving
Have you ever
freely.
met someone who lives in a ravine? They're like 3 or 4 foot tall, but just because of the pressure. The pressure weighs down on their
It's
heads
not
and they're
because
very
they're
small.
sort of a mad troll.
And do you
It's
know
because of the pressure.
Hey, case closed. How tall is Jermain Defoe? He's 5'3". He's been
That's
weighed
compelling
down
evidence
from
right
living
there.
in a cave.
In a cave?
Yeah, he lived in Canada.
Right.
And he went to Canada 6'2".
Yeah.
And he's come back from Canada 5'4".
Yeah.
How long was he? He wasn't there for very long, was he?
Well, that's
He's never anywhere.
He was in
for very
danger of
long.
not existing.
Yeah.
He was going to go too
But
little.
the Canadians, they are normal heights because they're used to it. It's like, people who live in Peru, they're used to they're very tall in Peru.
I mean, you sort of hit upon something mildly logical there in that the Canadians have started to use the weather to their advantage.
Yeah, they have,
whereas they used to accommodate non-cold countries and sort of play at better times. They're not now. They're like, fuck it, fuck you. We use this to our advantage, like the altitude, and are playing. Yeah. And recently spanked the US because of that. But, if you can find a way to make something bottom heavy, then yes. They're already in a foam costume laced with maple syrup. I think that's probably replicating it enough without digging a massive ravine.
Right, okay.
Not that I'm massively anti-ravines, but I don't really want to dig a ravine in a desert because if you ever dug a hole in a beach, how much it falls back in on itself.
Yeah, but that's because of the sea.
Hours.
That's because of the sea.
That's because there's too much gravity.
It's because of the sand, not the sea.
Well,
have you ever dug a hole?
Yeah,
in
mate.
sand?
In sand,
What are you doing on your beach holidays?
Well, I don't know about you, but if you go to the beach in England, most of your time has been like, I'm not quite dressed appropriately for this. It's a bit colder than I expected. It's a bit too windy.
You're avoiding
I'm in my
condoms
jeans.
and feces.
Yeah, and are you going to go in the sea? No, of course I'm fucking not, because it's not the 3 days of the year where it's warm enough to go in the sea. So I don't know if about you, but I can count the number of times I've enjoyed being on the beach in the UK on one hand.
I think that's probably why I spent so much time digging holes. Because it was too cold.
Like, do you want to go and stand in the sea? No, because it's really sharp on my feet. Because British sand British sand is really like scratchy.
Yeah.
Or it's like, we're on a pebble beach. For some reason, like I don't know why Brighton, like when they went on the internet to get their sand, they got screwed over. They got 20,000 tons of pebbles.
Yeah, they got coarse sand and it arrived and it was just all pebbles. Fucking hell, this is really coarse.
Rustic sand.
So anyway,
yeah, I think
we'll be better off in Qatar because it'll be fine sand.
Not convinced, but I think the maple syrup. Maybe if we don't pave it, how about this?
Yeah, okay.
You're in a foam Alphonso Davis outfit.
Yeah,
and
it's maple syrup dribbling between your toes.
Yeah, laced with maple syrup, and therefore you're picking up sand as you're going.
Yeah. Oh,
and therefore it's getting heavier, so you're bottom heavy. How about that?
All right.
Will that satisfy your need for bottom heaviness?
What animals like... Let's just make it a little bit difficult. What animals like licking up maple syrup? Because we can have like a moose like licking your toes and stuff as you go through.
Let's not overcomplicate this.
No.
You've tried your best, but I still think it's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
With maple syrup and foam costumes.
And Jermain Defoe.
With trains for eyes.
All right.
All right, then. All those in favour of Aah Canada, the Canadian rides, where you go through Canada and stuff happens with maple syrup and sponges, and definitely not anything to do with altitude sickness or the ravines and nonsensical physics. Say aye after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Aye. Congratulations, Ryan. And kept it simple.
Canada.
Foot. Footballland.
We've done it. We've done another 3. Send us your jingles. Send us your Patreon rides. We'll read them out in full.
Yeah.
And keep listening and sharing and liking.
Yeah.
Review us.
Or even don't listen, just press play, and then walk away from it.
Leave it on loop. Just play multiple times.
I think just download it, and that'll even do a thing. So it's very little commitment.
No commitment at all. All right.
See you next time. Bye-bye.